everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm DIY Danny, your friendly neighborhood DIY. How y'all doing? I hope you're all sitting down for this one because this mini front entryway makeover is gonna knock you off your feet. I am excited. I am overcome with joy, over the moon, insert happy adjective here, to share this DIY diary because it is a project that is a long time coming. 3 years of long time coming. I would like to send a huge special thank you to the sponsor of this video, Bear. I have painted many walls in my life, and it's only until now that I've really come to appreciate what it means to paint with a quality paint and understanding that there are different types of paints for you to get the job done. So I am personally excited about this partnership. I am a big fan of Bear, and this little mini epic makeover could not have happened without them. I am very excited to talk about the paint I used to get this makeover done, but until that time, let's jump into this DIY makeover. Editor, roll the tape. Boop. Okay, before I show you this embarrassing entryway, I do just want to preface the fact that I have focused on a lot of other spaces in my home, and this one just kind of fell through the cracks, so don't judge me. It just didn't have time. Here we go. I'm gonna show you right now. I'm just nervous. I hate it so much. This is my front entryway. As you can see, this front entryway has no personality. There's a sad looking entryway table, a coat rack that falls over because it's broken, a footstool that really just holds a bunch of boxes, and a mirror that it's just not reflecting the style I want. Yeah, that front entryway. I don't know if you noticed, but like I avoid filming it like it's the plague. It is unattractive, unfilmable. I just don't like it. The space is also kind of weird because there's this wall space here. Then there's this area that juts in, and then we have this whole weird inset place, which could fit a console table, but most console tables are actually bigger than this, so it ends up jutting out. Then I feel like this area feels bare. Like I want to be able to have a little table there, but then I also want a table here, and so putting two tables is kind of strange, right? Then my front entryway door will open up and covers this space here, so I don't want to put anything large in behind that. I have been noodling this front entryway for 3 years now. So many different solutions and ideas, but ultimately nothing just sat right with me. So I left it. The other big thing was this entryway is the pinnacle point to my home. 90% of daily traffic happens in this space. From people coming in and out of the house, hanging jackets, walking the dogs, storing general items from deliveries or DIY items for makeovers that are coming up. Everything is stored here. Beyond the lack of use, the door I painted is chipping and the walls are dirty, so this all needs to change. Finally, there is a plan. And by golly, it was a good one. Okay, so I put together a mood board where I've mapped out kind of the general design plan. So last time I made a mood board, you guys asked me what do I use to create mine, and you're gonna laugh, but all I use is Google Slides. It's completely free, and what I love about it is that you can have multiple pages of information, but you can see all of it on the side while focusing on what's in front of you. Google Slides is really easy to pull in photos, move it around, resize it. Don't complicate something that should be easy. So as you can see here, my goal was to add some personality into this space by creating a fun abstract accent wall. This was an art piece that I found that really spoke to me, so I'm hoping I can use it as my inspiration to design it. Of course, I'm also going to be adding some new decor pieces, this beautiful round mirror, some new wicker baskets, a catch-all dish, a new rug runner, and a doormat. And of course, I want to contrast my beautiful accent wall with a nice dark black door. The DIY elements I'm including here beyond the accent wall is going to be this DIY coat rack created with wood and wood pegs. And then I have this really cool idea for my console table. I'm gonna create one big fluid table that's going to start on the wall that juts out, and then it's going to continue in this fun curved shape into the back section and end where the door meets it. Here's a couple of the color schemes that I want to go with. The back section was going to be a color called Bit of Sugar. It's more of like a muted gray brown. The black sections were going to be with a color called Blackout. We have a more peachy area here. This is called Organza Peach. And then I'm going between two colors right now, Ginger Rose or Flower Pot. These are both very rich, deep pinks, but another really great way to pick colors is to go over to the Behr Color Smart. This is where you can kind of explore colors and visualize them. And then if there's a color that you like, you can pick it and then add it to your project colors, which is nice so that you can compare colors. On top of that, I really love this website because you can visualize the colors by uploading a photo of your space, and then you can add in the color in the background. So you actually get to genuinely see what your space is gonna look like with the color. So that's the plan, Stan. So the first step to this makeover was getting this stencil created for my console table. To do that, I used a big roll of brown craft paper that I normally use to DIY on. I measured out my wall space, then reflected those measurements onto the paper. I then cut out the stencil and fit the craft paper into the wall area, just like a puzzle piece. Taking the 1-inch baseboard into consideration, I mapped out how big each section should be and then used a marker to draw out the shape that I wanted. This needs to be adjusted a little bit, but this is kind of like the general idea and shape of what it's gonna be. Here, your turn. Not a good DIY assistant. So definitely drew out a couple versions. This is exactly why I wanted to do it this way, but I ended up taking a red marker just to see the final design. Last step was to cut the shape out and voila, my stencil was ready to go. You're in my shot. If you're a visual person like me, then going this route is the best way to help visualize the general size and shape that this table needs to be to best fit the space. Now that I had my design cut out, it was time to pick up that DIY spirit and attitude and get going on that DIY. Let's go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I am clearly not cool enough for a slow montage, okay? Let's just move along. Starting with a 3/4 inch aspen plywood sheet that was pre-cut to 30 by 64 inches, I took my craft paper stencil and traced it out onto the wood top using a pencil. Using one of my favorite tools, Mr. Jigsaw, I carefully cut my design out. Of course, we need to smooth out those edges, so I'm simply using a 220 grit sandpaper. Ooh, so easy peasy. Because this board is a plywood, we want to hide the edge and make it look like a beautiful professional piece of wood. So I'm using my iron and an oak edge banding to conceal that not so nice plywood edge. Poof, it's like magic. Now that my edge banding is secure, I'm filling in any undesirable spots with wood fill. Once that's dry, just sand it out and you should have a tabletop that looks seamless and beautiful. I wanted this top to have a nice natural look, so I'm finishing it off with a 1-step finish Danish oil in natural. Shake container thoroughly and test for color on hidden areas. This is a thorough shake. Danish oils like this are an oil and varnish that hardens inside the wood, not on top. This is going to help protect your board from within and enhance the natural look and feel of the wood. Now that my tabletop was drying, it was time to move on to my DIY coat rack. Taking a 1x4x6, I measured and cut it to 2 feet long. I then measured out the distance I wanted each of my 7 pegs. Finding my middle point, I'm drawing a line down the center. That way I can line my pegs up perfectly in the middle. I then taped off my drill bit so I knew exactly how deep I needed to make it into my board. Then using a drill press, I created small holes into the top where my coat pegs are going to be placed. Using a countersink, I created 2 holes on each side so I could secure it to the wall. Before my wood pegs could be secured, I painted this piece black using Behr Color Choice Blackout. Now I just have to wait for it to dry and it's ready to go. Woo! That was one heck of a DIY day. I am tired, it is late, and I'm ready to pack it in. So I will see you all tomorrow. Who's ready to paint? Dog, are you ready? No. Before I could even begin painting, I had to get that wall and door fully prepped. Okay, so I'm just cleaning out the cobwebs, filled in a hole. I want to make sure I get rid of, that dirt. Anytime you paint your walls, it's always good practice to make sure you clean down the walls of any dirt, because you don't want that dirt getting into your brush or roller. Cleaning your walls and your surfaces isn't a very sexy step, but it is definitely a necessary one. Starting with my door, I'm prepping the area and surface by taping off any areas I don't want paint on, including the sides and the hardware. Then I'm simply just adding a drop sheet onto the ground. I mean, we gotta protect those floors. Depending on the wear and tear of your door, I just wanna recommend that you would give it a light sand, especially if you see any kind of like paint flaking. This isn't too bad, this is actually quite flat, so I don't think I'm gonna need to sand this, but if you have kind of old paint that's chipping away, give it a light sand first before you start to paint. Finally, it's time to get to the good part. Let's start painting. For both the door and my wall mural, I'm painting using Bare Ultra Scuff Defense Interior Extra Durable Flat Paint and Primer. So let me tell you why this actually excites me. This is just preference, but I am a fan of a good matte wall. I don't like a sheen or a gloss, but here is the thing. This is the front entryway, meaning this area sees a lot of traffic on a daily basis. Between my DIY stuff coming and going, the dog bouncing off the walls, I needed a paint that was going to be durable. But here's the thing to understand about paint. If you opt for a less shiny look, i.e. either flat or matte, you're actually sacrificing quality, meaning that the paint is going to be less durable. But here's the beautiful thing. Bare solved our problem. They went and created Bare Ultra Extra Durable Flat Scuff Defense Paint. I mean, hello, options now. Let's all just open the door and scream to the world, I can paint it flat again.
Great.
Listen, I'm just happy I don't have to compromise on the durability or look that I want. No more marks and scuffs from daily wear and tear like this beautiful example. It's just the wear and tear of life, baby. And while I can handle it on my heart, I would prefer not to handle it on my walls. Let's move on. As I mentioned before in my design plans, I'm painting this door in the color Blackout. Seeing how this paint had a primer in it, I was ready to jump in and start applying. Starting from the top down, I used a wide brush for all the corners and the smaller crevasses of the door, and then I moved on to a small roller for the flat panels. Now all I need to do is let this dry and apply one more coat to make it ready for everyday use. Moving on to my piece de resistance, it was finally time to attack that accent wall. Who's ready to spice up this wall? Little spicy makeover. Spice. That's me throwing spice on it. You know, and like, if something's cool, you're like, oh, that's spicy. I don't think anyone says that, but they should. Spicy. To protect my floors, I'm laying down a plastic sheet using painter's tape to help keep in place. I'm also taping off the ceiling, wall sides, and baseboard just to protect from any dripping that may occur. To start this accent wall, I'm painting the entire wall with a base coat using the color Bit of Sugar. There is a primer built into this paint, meaning you don't need to start with a primer coat on your walls. This paint is really effective at blocking stains that are on the walls and provides an easy, clean finish. I think it's good. Now we just let it dry. Dance party! Using a small paintbrush first, I'm carefully painting out the edges to create the preferred abstract shape that I want. Now that that's filled in, I'm using a small roller just to fill in the rest of the section. And of course, let that dry. I was kind of worried that it was going to look too light, but you can see it close up, the difference of the peach to the white. It's subtle, but that is what I was going for, so I'm a fan. Once it's dry, again, using the same technique, I'm using a paintbrush and then filling in any bigger areas with a roller. Because these sections are smaller, I'm simply just filling them in with a brush. Of course, let that dry. Then using a small precision paintbrush, I'm painting in the thin black lines.
So can you explain your emotions as you are drawing this abstract line? This
Frightened?
is a metaphor for your life and the unknown path that it's following. Meandering across a blank canvas with various obstacles in the way.
That's very well put. My emotions are scared, wishing I had a more steady hand.
So what crossroads in your life does that represent?
I don't know if I want to get that real on YouTube. Now all we gotta do is just let our abstract wall dry. It's finally install and styling day! While I very much enjoy the journey, boy do I love seeing that end result. First up, I'm adding this beautiful 27.5-inch round mirror. Below the mirror, it's time to add my new cool console table. To do this, I installed 3 heavy-duty brackets so that my tabletop had something to sit on. If you don't have a support stud to screw into, use a stud finder and an anchor to secure in place. Next to that, we can't forget about my DIY coat rack. Of course, any entryway needs added organization, so underneath my console table, I'm adding in these beautiful wicker baskets. One will be for seasonal shoes, and the second for doggo's odds and ends. Next to that, I added this beautiful snake plant. Boy, do I love me a plant pop in a space. On the table, I'm adding this really snazzy catch-all bowl. I love the copper touch on this piece, but also the warmth of the concrete. A great little addition to hold keys and entryway odds and ends. Beside that, I'm adding in this simple black tray for mail and a beautiful glass jar for holding flowers. And last, let's not forget about our feet. To bring it all together, I'm adding in 2 rugs. First one is an 18 by 30 doormat with a black border. Really complements the black door and accent wall, I think. Next to that, I laid down this 2' 3" by 6' 7" indoor runner. And of course, to make sure that it doesn't slip around, I'm using carpet tape. It's done! Jazz hands! With a little DIY love, I took a drabby front entryway and turned it into a fabulous space full of personality, life, and organization. It's just so beautiful, and it's exactly what I wanted it to be. It's playful. It's pretty, it's durable. The Behr Ultra Scuff Defense paint provided a clean, beautiful, non-reflective, because that's what we want, appearance, and the best part, because it is a paint primer, it really is easy to make touch-ups if needed, and it's really easy to clean. Finally, a front entryway I can feel proud to show off, especially in my videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this mini DIY makeover of my front entryway. Thank you again to the sponsor of this video, Behr, and for providing me with all the Behr Ultra Scuff Defense interior paint you saw used in this video. All of the paint colors and materials will be listed in the description box. Go explore all of the other amazing color options you can choose from and add a little creativity into your home. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.